All right, guys, so this was kind of expected if you listen to the tea leaves, and that's Dana Holgersen. Let go of Houston, one of the really good personalities, one of the good guys in college football, a Mike Leach disciple. Dana Holgersen, such an entertaining interview. By all accounts, a great, great guy. Took West Virginia to new heights, and a guy who's an absolute grinder, but really a lifer in football. And Dana, 52 years old, still has really good years, I believe, ahead of him. Dana Holgersen now, he was at West Virginia. He was at West Virginia for about 7 years, so he stayed there a pretty long time. And then with Houston, he was there 4 years. They ended up going 12-2 in 2021, 8-5, but then this year kind of the wheels fell off. And so at Houston, he was 31-28. It's weird playing in the American Conference. And really, Houston just probably wants to go in another direction. They're probably going to hire somebody younger. They probably already have names in mind. And they're going to make, I believe, a big splash, a huge splash. This is a desirable job. It's in a booming metropolitan city. And it's a Big 12 job right in the heart of Texas. And the best high school football players are all around the city of Houston and the surrounding areas. So expect maybe a Kendall Briles to be very involved. Expect GJ Kinne from Texas State. You have great young offensive coordinators that are in the state of Texas. Seth Morris, a guy at North Texas, again. So I believe that you're going to have really elite level offense at Houston. And I just believe that the boosters and everybody's going to pour into this, and this is kind of a sleeping giant of a job. I think it's a very good job because they haven't won at the elite of the elite level with Houston football, but it's a job that is totally on the rise. So I'm very curious to see where they go. In terms of Coach Holgersen, he's been a head coach for a while. In terms of him being an offensive coordinator, he's been an offensive coordinator for a while, and he's had decent offenses. So I wonder, there's probably going to be a program out there that is going to be interested in Dana Holgersen's services. Penn State has an open offensive coordinator job. Even Michigan State, there's going to be a new staff there. Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State. He's going to have his choice, I believe, of being an offensive analyst or calling plays. But I believe that Dana, too, he probably wants to take a step back. I mean, he's been at it now for 13 years, high pressure environments of being a head coach. And, you know, Dana's funny. He's got that hoarse voice and everything right now. And I think that Holgersen, I think he would be phenomenal on TV. Again, just you listen to him maybe on Part of My Take, or you listen to him on podcasts. He's a guy you want to sit and have whiskey with and listen to stories. I think he really cares about the kids. I think that he's a guy that can connect with older people, but also the young generation. And but he called great plays, and he had real highs at West Virginia and Houston. 12-2 at Houston, but then at West Virginia, I mean, that program popped, you know, in the early 2000s with Dana. So, man, overall, it's very interesting. He's an Iowa native, which is funny, but again, he's a chameleon. He can go pretty much anywhere. Spent a ton of time in the state of Texas. Was at Texas Tech with Mike Leach for about 7 years there. And just been an emotional ride, I think, with Coach Leach's passing. And then with Houston, again, they're moving to the Big 12. They kind of have all this money going in with football and basketball. And I think that their boosters and everybody just got kind of antsy. And for Holgersen, I mean, fortunately, the program, it just looked like after a couple of years of so-so seasons, looked like Holgersen was kind of, it wasn't hitting those consistent highs. So they think they could get a better coach. They might be able to. But for Dana, he's going to be phenomenal either on television or either as an offensive coordinator or offensive assistant. And he had a great run at both places, and he's somebody that you really root for in the business. So Houston today moves on. Sleeping giant of a job. Again, we're going to monitor it. It's going to be interesting to see what the Cougars do, as today is just an absolute crazy day on the coaching carousel. And as we expected, Houston does come open today.